Hello again, I'm Nia, and today I'm going to talk about the British defeat in the Ohio Valley. This battle was named the Battle of the Monongahela and was a part of the French and Indian War. This battle took place on July 9, 1755, and the British and the French fought this battle in Braddock, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. In the end, the French and their Indian allies won the fight with a shocking defeat for the British. The British and the French were rushing to gain control of the Ohio River Valley in 1754, and during that year, the French designed a lot of forts in western Pennsylvania. On the other hand, the British troops were assigned to capture the French defenses with General Edward Braddock leading them. When Braddock was sent to North America and became commander-in-chief, it gave him 2 regiments from Ireland. He recruited them with the local troops he had in British America, upgrading his forces to about 2,400 men with him. George Washington became a volunteered aide to the general and gave Braddock many warnings about the French and Indians. Braddock didn't take the warning seriously, but followed the road that Washington had burned when he was on his way to Fort Necessity the previous year. It was a very long march for the British troops, and the general decided to split the army in half to speed things up, which was one of the fatal mistakes he made. Later on, Braddock and one of his group crossed over the Monongahela River on July 9th, and that's when the Battle of the Monongahela started. In front of the British column, muskets were firing behind trees, and the French and their Indian allies worked together to defeat the British. The advanced British units fell back while the rear units moved on. Fear was getting upon the British, and they started to become very unorganized. The British tried to fight back, but were mainly on the defensive side. They used cannons, but they were ineffective due to the enclosure of the forest roads. There were many Americans that lacked the training to stand their ground and ran and hid behind trees, although they were shot by the Redcoats because they were mistaken as enemy fighters. General Braddock had 5 horses shot out under him, and after 3 hours of fighting, Braddock was shot in the lung. He was badly wounded, and all the remaining British troops fell back, carrying Braddock back to safety. But as they reached the Monongahela River, they were attacked by the Indians with hatchets and scalping knives. At that moment, the British forces broke apart and ran for their lives, thinking they were going to get killed. George Washington had no official positions to set out commands, but he got permission to do so and was able to hold some orders. By sunset, the surviving British ran back down the road that they built while carrying the wounded troops, and in the end, 456 British troops got killed, including General Braddock, and 422 British troops were wounded. Many British soldiers and women were captured during the battle, and a lot of the soldiers were tortured and burned to death by the Indians that night. In the end, the French and the Indians won the battle and many lives were sacrificed on that day. But the Battle of the Monongahela was significant because it ended the Braddock expedition, which many thought had an overwhelming force to control the Ohio country.